ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ओम। श्रीमान् वेंकटनाथार्य कवितार्किक केसरी वेदांताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि। We are seeing the Prabhava Paddhati, or the chapter elaborating the greatness of the Paduka of Lord Ranganatha in Paduka Sahasram, written by the great devotee poet, the great scholar Vedanta Deshika. Now we will see the 39th verse of the Paduka Sahasram, 1000 verses written in praise of the Paduka, or the footwear of Lord Ranganatha. It is the 39th verse and it is the 9th verse of this chapter, Prabhava Paddhati. These 1000 verses have so many references to various incidents from the Puranas, various references to the Vedas, various references to the tradition of saints, alvars of Lord Vishnu, and various references to scriptures, Vaishnavite scriptures written in Tamil. So here we are going to see one verse which has got several references to Puranas. And as we have seen earlier also, Vedanta Deshika, he addresses the Paduka most of the time. Most of the verses are addressed to the Paduka of Lord Ranganatha. So here the verse goes like this. Yoshid bhuta drishanti apoda shakatas themani vaimanika srotasvinyupalambhanani bhasito dajat parikshinti cha दूत्यादिष्वपि दुर्वचानि पदयोः कृत्यानि मत्वेव यद् धत्ते तत् प्रणयं तदेव चरणत्राणं वृणे रंगिनः. The Anvaya or the prose order is this. Yad. Yad means that. Yoshid bhuta drishanti. That Yoshid bhuta drishanti apoda shakatah sthemani vaimanikah. So it is a reference to Puranika. That means that Paduka. Yoshid bhuta. Yoshid means a woman. Bhuta became. Drishanti, apoda. So that Paduka, finally this ends with the word that I bow, I do pranam, I salute that Paduka. Which Paduka? Which Paduka? Yat. Which Paduka? Yoshid bhuta drishanti. This Paduka turns a stone. A woman who has taken the form of a stone into a woman. Yoshit Bhuta. So here the reference is obviously to Sri Rama going and touching the stone that was really Ahalya, and she turned into Ahalya. So the story we know. The story is there in various forms, in various Puranas. And this story has been seen by various people to mean various things. But generally the drift of the story is like this, that Indra, the lord of Devas, he had a desire and he had a liking towards Ahalya. Ahalya, there are many meanings of that word. One meaning is pure. She was the wife of Gautama Rishi. And this Indra, once when Gautama Rishi went away, Indra wanted to meet Ahalya. And so he goes and meets her in the guise of Gautama Rishi. That is what is told in many accounts. In some accounts, he went as Indra. And so there was a relationship, there was a physical relationship. And so Ahalya was told that she has committed adultery, she has cheated. And so Gautama curses her to become dry. So becoming dry and to lie on the way, that is the curse. So this curse also is there portrayed differently in different Puranas. The idea is that Ahalya became a stone. So what is the deep meaning of becoming a stone also has been commented upon by various scholars, also various acharyas. So here what is the meaning? The meaning is Lord Ranganatha, his Paduka, it touched a person who had somehow got a curse. Whether it was because of the fault of Ahalya or not, that itself will lead into a huge discussion. So let us not go into that. What it means is a person who has gone into a miserable state. What can be more miserable for a living being than going into the state of being inert, like stone, or being dried up? Dried up of what? Dried up of activity. So that is what happens to Ahalya. And there, Lord Ranganatha, in the form of Sri Ramachandra, Maryada Purushottama Ramachandra, he goes and during his exile in the forest, he touches and then automatically Ahalya regains her form. So this footwear, usually people consider footwear to be something not very important, not to be given much importance. But it is true that when the footwear belongs to someone like a guru, then we take much care about the footwear. In the Sikh tradition, in the Gurudwara, that is the place of worship of Sikh religion, Gurudwara, people enamor, they crave or they desire to do the service of polishing the boots of or cleaning the boots of the devotees. That is a thing which is, if you go to Golden Temple Amritsar, there is a huge list of people who want to do that seva. So the footwear of a devotee, also the footwear of Lord, is considered to be great. But here the greatness is not just because it is the footwear of Lord Ranganatha, but that footwear also has done so many impossible things. Like here, a person who has been removed from the condition of being life, living, has been brought back to living condition, has been brought back to living condition. A curse has been removed, curse has been lifted. And Gautama Rishi, it seems, by various accounts, he says that only when you are touched or when you are blessed by the touch of Sri Rama, you will get this. You will regain your body. So a person who was in such a miserable state was brought back by the touch of this Paduka. So that is why I revere, I take refuge in that Paduka. Then Apoda Shatakastha Imani Vaimanikah. Apoda. Apoda means that is Drishanti Apoda, the inertness or the state of being a stone was removed. Apoda, it was removed. And so Shakata Sthemani, it has got Sthemani, it has got the power or the strength of Shakata. Shakata means Shakatasura. So this is another incident. We all know that Sri Krishna, the life of Sri Krishna, Lord Sri Krishna, is full of leelas, full of his divine play, full of his divine play. And since birth, Sri Krishna, even before his birth or since his birth, he starts doing his divine play. It starts from before his birth. So that Paduka has a great role here. How Paduka, how this is a great role? Because when Sri Krishna was a small baby, we all know Yashoda, who was the foster mother of Sri Krishna. She was not the real mother, but she is the example of motherhood. So she was, usually when we say like, yeah, mother like Yashoda. So she is an ideal mother. She is an ideal mother. So she had to do some work. And so she had to do some work. And there was a cart, bullock cart. Only the cart was there. And the cart was kept there for a long time. On it, so many things were kept. Milk, because Yashoda, it was a milk dairy, cowherds family. So milk is taken from cows and then it is kept in milk cans, so that cans are all kept on that cart, and then some hays are also kept on the can, so that it should not be spoiled. Something should not fall on that, etc. So this cart is lying there like that, without being used for a long time. So people go and sit there, or they use this cart as a table to keep their things, etc. So when Yashoda had to go out, she saw where to keep this Krishna, baby Krishna. So what did she do? She kept him under the shade of the cart. Now, in many accounts, that cart itself, this Shakata Asura. Shakata means cart. So Shakata Asura, the demon or the Asura by name Shakata, he became the cart. In certain accounts, he did not become the cart. He was sitting on the cart and he wanted to crush the cart so that it will fall upon Krishna, baby Krishna, and he will die. And some accounts also say that it was Kamsa who sent the Shakata. Of course, it was Kamsa because he heard this prophecy that this person will kill you. So that is why the previous child form of Yoga Maya, she told that this person will kill you, the next child will kill you, or the child who will kill you has already been born. So there was a confusion. We all know the story. There was a confusion among children, and Kamsa wanted to kill that child, and it turned out to be a different child. And Yoga Maya said that and she disappeared. And so Sri Krishna was born and he was taken to Nanda. By Nanda, he was taken to his foster parents and they brought him up. And so now Kamsa wanted to kill this child. And once he located Sri Krishna, he tried his best to kill him and the baby, because he was so afraid that this baby will kill me. And so he killed so many children before Sri Krishna. All children he killed. But what happened? He could not protect him. So then what he did? He sent different asuras, Putana and all those people, to kill Sri Krishna. And similarly in that line, he sent Shakata. Shakata he sent. So Shakata, what did he do? He, in some accounts it is said that he became the cart itself. In some accounts it is said that he was sitting on the cart and he tried to crush that cart so that it falls on Sri Krishna, baby Sri Krishna, and he will die. But what did Sri Krishna do? He immediately, of course, he was Lord. He was Lord of the universe. He is the Lord of the universe. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Sri Krishna is Lord himself. So he saw, he could immediately understand this vile plan or evil plan, evil plot of Shakata Asura. So what he did, he just, with his tiny legs, he just pressed his feet. So here Vedanta Deshikan says that that is the Paduka of Lord Sri Krishna, Lord Ranganatha, which he just touched the cart and the cart went flying in one direction. And it went flying in one direction. And so it went so far and it fell with such a force that Shakutasura, who was either sitting on it or he was himself the cart, he fell and he died on the spot. So this Paduka, which could kill such a huge Asura or such a powerful Asura with so much strength, such a strong Asura like Shakatasura, he could kill that. So this Paduka is so great. It could remove the inertness or non-life of a woman and convert her back to her life condition. It could kill Shakata Asura, Sthemani. It has the strength to kill Shakata Asura, Shakata Sthemani. And also Vaimanika Srotasvini Upalambani, Upalambanani. So Vaimanika means those who are in the Vimana, means those who are in heaven. Vaimanika, those who are in heaven, that means God, celestial, those who are celestial. So that means gods. Srotasvini, Upalambanani. So one who created the Srotasvini, the river of the gods. What is the river of the gods? Ganga. It is called Jannavi. It is also called Bhagirathi. So that Ganga, he created this Paduka, it created the Ganga. How did Paduka create Ganga? So now today is 17th August. 21st August, we celebrate Onam. Onam. What is Onam? So Onam is the day when Vamana Avatara was made. Means Sri Krishna took the avatara of Vamana. That is the day. Tiruvonam. So on this day, he came to Mahabali and he said, I want, we all know the story of Vamana Avatara. So he said, I want some alms. So no, then Mahabali, who is a Asura, he is a demon king. And so he was doing such a wonderful rule. His rule was such wonderful that the Devatas, they got disturbed, that he will control the heavens, everything he will control, then what will happen to us? So that is why they were all disturbed. And he is a descendant of Prahalada. So he is devoted. He is devoted, but nonetheless, he is also an Asura. So how can we allow him to control everything? So then Vishnu says, how can I kill him also? He has not done anything wrong. So then he goes, and then Vishnu is waiting for him to do some mistake. And then he goes as a Vamana, a dwarf Brahmana. He goes there as a dwarf Brahmana. When he reaches there as a dwarf Brahmana, then Mahabali asks, what do you want? So he says, I want 3 feet measure, land measuring 3 feet. Means I want 3 feet land. So when he says, then Mahabali says, ask something else also. You have come here, you're asking only this, ask something else. So he repeats that I want 3 feet land. So like that, when this goes on for some time, then Mahabali says that I am such a big king and you're asking such a small thing because you are short in height. So your 3 feet will be nothing. So then there is what is called ego in Mahabali. And that was reason enough for Sri Krishna or Vamana Avatara, Lord Vishnu, to finish Mahabali. But he did not finish him like that. It is more like a blessing. How? Then we all know, then he gives the blessing. He says, not blessing, he gives the alms. He says, yes, you take 3 feet of your 3 feet land you take. And so there is this Shukracharya, who is the guru of all the asuras. Like Brihaspati is the guru of all the devas. So he understands that, oh, this is not ordinary Vamana, or it's not ordinary Brahmana, dwarf Brahmana. This is Lord Vishnu himself. So he goes, and so usually when somebody gives something in dana, one has to pour water. And so that vessel, he goes and blocks the way from which water will come. Then Mahabali also sees that, understands, he becomes a fly and blocks that. And Mahabali also sees that, understands that this is my guru, but yet pokes it. And so Shukracharya becomes he becomes blind in one eye. And then, even then, because he has made this commitment that he will give, he has understood that because my guru came and tried to block, that means there is something wrong. And so yet he offers. And the moment he says, I have given you, this Vamana takes a huge form, and one step he is conquering earth, one step he is conquering the nether worlds, and then he asks where to keep the third step, etc. Then the third step is kept on Bali's head. At that time, Bali says that, you see, I have ruled my kingdom fairly well, and I want to meet my praja, my citizens. So please allow me one day, this day, every year, let me come and see my citizens. And so that is allowed. And that is the day of Onam. So here, why all this story? When that Vamana Avatara was taken, Vamana Avatara, when this dwarf Brahmana Avatara incarnation was taken by Bhagavan Sri Vishnu, Lord Narayana, Lord Ranganatha, at that time, he just used his toe and just pressed Hiranyagarbha. What is Hiranyagarbha? It is supposed to be a womb that is like a golden egg. Hiranya means golden egg. So Vamana just accidentally pressed it. So inside the golden egg, there was this celestial river which was rotating. That is Ganga. It is also called Vishnupadi because it came into the Vishnu Spada. So when he touched it like that, it got broke, and from there came out Ganga. And so it came out, and it came and it took a route. What is the route it took? So first it came out like that. And from there, It from Hiranyagarbha, it came out and it went to heaven. From heaven, it was received by Dhruva. Dhruva means it's a pole star, pole star. Dhruva Nakshatra. Dhruva, we know, because of his austerities, he became the Dhruva Nakshatra, pole star. He was received there. And from there, Akasha Ganga. Ganga became Akasha Ganga, that is Milky Way. She became Milky Way. And from there, she went to moon. She went to moon. And from there, she went to Brahmaloka. And in Brahmaloka, there is a big mountain, Sumeru. So on that mountain, there is a lotus. On that lotus, so many petals are there. Those petals are the different continents of this world. So Saptadvipa, 7 continents, like that it is told. So they are the petals of that lotus which is blossomed on the Sumeru mountain in Brahmaloka, in the sphere of Brahman. And one petal, through one petal, that Ganga comes to Bharata, to our country. It falls down to the earth and comes to this world. So through just one small touch of Paduka, this Ganga, which was lying in a womb, golden womb, Hiranyagarbha, she came out. And we also know what is the story. Kapila, there was this Muni Kapila, the person who started Sankhya philosophy. Kapila Muni was doing his meditation. He was performing austerity. He was doing his sadhana. And then there is this King Sagara. So Sagara had 60,000 sons. So these sons went and disturbed Kapila's meditation. So Kapila Muni was disturbed in his meditation. So he opened his eyes and looked at these 60,000 sons, and they all were burnt and became ashes. Not only that, he ensured that these ashes go into Patala. They go into Patala. So they all went into Patala. And so afterwards, 2 generations after, who was born? Bhagirath was born. And this Bhagirath wanted to bring back these 60,000 of his uncles, great uncles. And so what did he do? He did tremendous tapasya. And he wanted Ganga to come. So only if Ganga comes and washes those ashes, they will be freed from the curse. So, and he could offer his oblations or rituals as we offer to Pitru, the ancestors who have passed away. So he then, what did he do? He did tremendous tapasya, and then he pleased Ganga. So Ganga was ready to come down. So till then she was there, but afterwards in the heavens she was there, but she was ready to come down. But her force is so much that if she comes down, she will destroy the entire earth. So what to do? Then she came down through Shiva's jata, through the locks of hair of Shiva. So that is why Shiva has got Ganga on his head. And she comes down from there. She came down. She was brought by Bhagiratha to Himalayas. So if we go to Himalayas, now the state of Uttarakhand, we see there is what is called as Gomukh. That is the source of Ganga. From there, she comes down to Gangotri. From there, she goes down to Haridwar. So from Haridwar, Bhagirath took Ganga to Varanasi. First to Prayag, and then mixed with Yamuna, and then to Varanasi. Then from Varanasi, Ganga goes where? She goes to Ganga Sagara. That is when she meets the ocean in West Bengal, Ganga Sagara. Then from ocean, she goes down to Patala Loka, and then she rescues all the 60,000 sons of King Sagara, and she rescues them. And they all are freed from the curse. So that is what is told here. What is told here? Srotasvini Upalambanani. So that touch of that particular Paduka, it made available Upalambanani. It made available, or it created. What did it create? It created the river of the celestials, or the river of divine beings, or the river of the gods. It created the river of the gods. And Bhasit Udanchat Parikshinti. So also this feat, first what did it do? It changed a stone or something inert into a very beautiful woman. And even when it was very small, the Paduka, it destroyed a demon called Shakatasura. And then the celestial Ganga, the divine Ganga, Ganga of the gods, it was born because of this feat. It came out. It was so when something comes out of an egg, that is how it is born. So that is why Dvija, the word Dvija means that which is twice born, 2 times birth. What are born 2 times? What are the things born 2 times? So that which is born out of a seed. First the seed comes, first birth. Second, a sprout comes from the seed. That is the second birth. Then Andaja. So seed, that which is born out of a seed is called Udbija. That which is born out of an egg is called Andaja. So Andaja means first egg is put and then egg hatches. So there is 2 births. Then there is teeth. First we have teeth, and that is milk teeth. It all falls away. Then we have the better teeth. And then the first 3 varnas, Brahmana, Vaishya, Kshatriya and Vaishya. Brahmana, Kshatriya and Vaishya. So they all have this sacred thread. So they, or sometimes Dvija means only Brahmana. So first time when somebody is born, it is born. And the second birth is when sacred thread is put. So Yajñopavita. So when Yajñopavita takes place, that time it is the second birth. So these are all Dvija, 2 times born. So birth from egg is also a birth. And so the Paduka of Lord Ranganatha made this Ganga take birth. It came out of the cosmic egg or the golden egg called Hiranyagarbha. So that is one great thing. Then Bhasit Udanchat Parikshinti. Bhasit, from ashes, Udanchat was made. What? Parikshinti. Parikshit. The king called Parikshit, who has been known in the scriptures for having been the listener of Bhagavata. He was recited, he wanted to hear Bhagavata, and he heard Bhagavata before he died, or he was killed by Takshaka. So that is how he was killed. But even his birth is strange. Why? We all know about Mahabharata. Mahabharata war took place. So in Mahabharata war, what happened? There was this Ashwathama. Who is Ashwathama? He is the son of Dronacharya. So Dronacharya was killed using some kind of a strategy. He was killed using strategy. So this Ashwathama, basically telling a lie. Ashwathama hata. So Ashwathama has died. Iti gaja, that means elephant has died. So elephant named Ashwathama died, and they told it in such a manner that Dronacharya thought Ashwathama, his son, had died, and he became quite depressed and dejected, and at that moment he was killed. That is how we find it in the Mahabharata. Now, Ashwatthama always wanted to take revenge of this. And so he could not bear that his father was killed. So what did he do? He entered into a battle towards the end of Mahabharata. He entered into a battle with Arjuna. He entered into a battle with Arjuna. And he used an astra, a weapon, which was a very dangerous weapon, which he had promised he will not use. So when that happened, what happened? Arjuna also sent Brahmastra. That is also a weapon which cannot be returned. And so rishis, they interfered and they said, no, don't do this. And they asked to withdraw the weapons. Arjuna, he was very great in weapon archery, and he could withdraw the weapon, that is Brahmastra, but Ashwatthama did not know how to withdraw that. So then rishis told him that, okay, then you direct it to a place which has no person. Just like we go and we, in terms of testing of atomic bomb, etc., it is done in a very, very secluded place, which is evacuated, etc. And there you do testing in safe conditions. Similarly, you redirect this particular weapon to some other person. So it is possible, it seems, because nowadays in movies we see, of course, some like Rajinikanth movies, some bullet is coming and that person is directing it, etc. So maybe this technology was there in those days. I think from there only they got inspiration for these movies. So redirecting the astra. So now Ashwatthama, but he had so much vengeance. He was full of vengeance. So though he wanted to redirect, he could not. He said, why redirect? My father was killed by this person. So, okay, if I cannot kill him also, let me do something bad to his family. So there is Abhimanyu, Abhimanyu's wife, Uttara. Uttara is pregnant. So what he did, he directed his arrow or weapon to Uttara's womb, and the child was killed there. So that is what Bhasita means, that person who has become ashes. Bhasita means from ashes. So who is ashes? Udanchat Parikshinticha. So from ashes came out Parikshit. So when he was killed, then what to do? Now from where will the child be born? So that is that Apandava Astra, it is called, that Astra. Why? Because Pandavas were to be destroyed using that Astra. So how will the child be born, etc.? Then there was a great furor, cry. So then they approached Sri Krishna, who blessed them by again giving life to the womb, giving life to Parikshit. So this Paduka, it can give life also to something. Womb, it has died. The child has died in the womb. And from ashes, the Paduka has the ability to give back life. That is the greatness of this Paduka. So this Paduka has got such greatness. But even though it was so great, it could transform a stone into a beautiful woman. It could kill a person as strong as a demon, as strong as Shakatasura by just touching. It could, by again just touching accidentally, bring out the celestial river Ganga. It could also bring out life or bring back life in the womb, that is Parikshit. So much it could do, but that feet, what did it do? It has got that feet, dutyadishu api, dutyadishu api, even as a messenger, as an ambassador, as a messenger, Duta. Durvachani padayoho krityani. So that those feet which can do such impossible tasks, those feet, what did they do? Dutyadishu api. Dutyadishu api. So even as a messenger, it went. That is, Sri Krishna went to the Kauravas, to Duryodhana, as a messenger of the Pandavas, trying to negotiate, trying to find some way if there can be peace without going into a war. That kind of thing happened. And so, Kritya, Durvachani Padayoho Krityani. And it also, though it has been Durvachani, Durvachani means that cannot be expressed sufficiently in words, through words. Durvachani. It cannot be expressed sufficiently through words. It is so inexplicable. Inexplicable. So that, and that Padayoho Krityani. Padayoho means the feet. Feet, Krityani, actions. Actions of the feet which are so difficult to explain. Pranayam. Pranayam means love. Pranayam. Tat, that feet. Pranayam dhatte. Dhatte, bears. So that feet which is that which bears its love for those feet. Which feet, or which feet they have done such inexpressible, inexplicable, you cannot explain such Durvachani Krityani, Durvachani Krityani, actions which are difficult to explain. It has done. Those actions are done by the feet of Lord Ranganatha, and the Paduka, which has great affection towards that feet. It has great attachment to that feet. And it is Pranayam Dhatte. With that love and attachment, it is bearing those feet. Bearing those feet. Tat Pranayam means it's Pranayam or love towards those holy feet. It is bearing those feet. Dhatte, bearing. Tat, that Ranginaha Charana Tranameva. So that Ranginaha means of Sri Ranganatha, of Lord Sri Ranganatha. Charana means feet. Tranam means protection. Eva, Vrine. So I Vrine, I pray that that should be my refuge. What should be my refuge? The Paduka, which has got so much attachment and love to the feet of Lord Ranganatha, which has done all these actions, which are so much not explainable. It cannot be explained. It is inexplicable. You cannot tell them, express them in words. So that Paduka, which has got a lot of love and affection towards the feet of Ranganatha, which has done all these actions, bring a stone into life, kill a person as strong as Shakatasura, bring the celestial river out of the cosmic egg, and also give back life to Parikshit even before he was born, and running errands for the Pandavas, running errands for the Pandavas as their messenger. All this has been done by that great feat, and Paduka is supporting that feat. It is supporting that feat because of its great love and affection and attachment to that feat. So I consider that that which is protecting that feat in such manner, that is to be my refuge. That is to be my refuge. So here, till now, Vedanta Deshika has been extolling the Paduka. But here he is also extolling the feet or charana of Lord Ranganatha. And so by extolling the charana of Lord Ranganatha, he is finally also extolling or praising the Paduka themselves. Here he is saying that I want some kind of help, and I want succor, and so I want some solace, and so I seek the refuge of the Paduka. And if the feet can help so many people, even turn inert thing into live thing, living thing, it can bring back life to dead life's womb. It can bring such a big river, mighty river, which removes all the sins, Ganga, to the earth. Such impossible tasks, if a feet can do, then the Paduka, which is protecting those feet, how much more impossible task can that Paduka do? And so I am seeking refuge in those Padukas. That is what Vedanta Deshikan is saying. So here we see Vedanta Deshikan uses different references to different Puranas and gives us a wonderful picture of what the Padukas are. In the Prabhava Paddhati, that is the chapter devoted to the greatness of Padukas, he is able to present us this greatness, and he puts the Paduka of Lord Ranganatha in a greater position than his feet themselves. And usually when we talk about, as I told some time ago, just now, usually when we talk about a person, we consider the feet of that person to be not so important, or we consider it to be not very respectful or something. And the slipper also is considered disrespectful. That's why in many places you have to take out the footwear. Of course, in places where you want to avoid dust also, you have to take footwear out. But generally, out of reverence or respect, you take out footwear. So here, that footwear is given such an importance because it is no ordinary footwear. As I told you earlier also, even feet, when we consider the person to be revered, when we consider that person to be like a guru or something, then we worship the feet or the footwear. Similarly here, Lord Ranganatha's footwear are given more importance than the feet themselves. And so here Vedanta Desikan has been successful in establishing that the feet are being borne by the Padukas. So essentially the feet are being protected by the Padukas, and so the Padukas are greater than the feet. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ram Krishnarpanamastu. Does anyone have any questions? No questions. No questions, Smriti?
No, Swamiji, there's no question on the chat box also.
Bhumaji, any question? Not there. Bhumaji?
Pranam Swamiji, Kranti Bhushan here. you told that Ganga in the form of Milky Way goes to heaven, and from there it comes down to the Gomukhi. Here you told about Ganga. What about is there any history of other rivers? Means in the same manner. Means in India we do worship different rivers in different ways. Means,
No, it might be there. I am
though
not
they are
aware
water.
of. I'm not aware of, because the Puranic literature is really huge, vast, and I have not. I'm not very well versed in the Puranas, so I'm not aware of that. If it is there, it might be there. Because we do find references to at least 7 rivers. We find reference to 7 rivers: Godavari, Narmada, Ganga, etc., Saraswati, etc. And
one more question, sir, Swamiji. And you told about 60,000 ancestors. The one person do tapasya and did Bhagirath, that person. And with the help of Ganga, he washed it out, removed the curse of 60,000 members. Yeah, the thing.
So you see, Puranas are very intricate, and also even who is the son of whom, there is so much of confusion. If you follow one Purana, somebody becomes somebody's son, somebody's father, like that. So Puranas are vast, and also there are different accounts in different Puranas. So that is why it is confusing. But at the same time, they are interesting. They have some symbolic meaning. Also, they give us some idea about how life was seen during that time, etc. So, for the example, the incident of Ahalya, it has got various accounts. In various Puranas, it is told in different manner. In the Ramayana also, it is told in different manner. Also, different kinds of Ramayanas, different things are told. So, and also now modern people also comment on Ahalya's story in a different manner. So that itself is such a vast topic, only Ahalya's life. What does it mean that she became stone? Did she actually become a stone or not, etc. So,
and one more small doubt is there. Lord Krishna goes to Kauravas as a messenger before war during the break of the war, means in between the war.
No, it's well known. It is before the war. It is well known. It is before the war. That is when the Duryodhana says, I will not even give the land which is occupied by the point of a needle. Even that much land I will not give. So there is necessity to fight a war.
Now that you said, got it small that's what I'm asking for.
Bhumaji, do you have anything to add or subtract or divide or multiply?
Namaste, Maharaj.
Namaste.
Maharaj, இந்த இதுல இன்னைக்கு நான் பாதியில தான் வந்தேன். பாதி முடிஞ்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் ஃபுல்லும் வர முடியல. இந்த பாதுகாசத்தோட தொடர்புடையதாக இன்னொரு நூலையும் நீங்கள் பார்த்தால் நலமாக இருக்கும்னு எனக்கு தோன்றது. திருக்கோளூர் பெண் பிள்ளை ரகசியம். அந்த புத்தகம் நீங்க பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இன்னும் பல கருத்துகள் வேதாந்த தேசிகருடைய பாதுகாசகத்தோடு தொடர்புடையதாக அறிந்து கொள்ள முடியும்னு சொல்லிட்டு நான் நினைக்கிறேன்.
அப்போ எனக்கு ஒரு வேண்டுகோள், நீங்க அந்த புத்தகத்தை வாங்கி கொண்டு அனுப்பி விட்டீர்களானால் ரொம்ப 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 இருக்கும்.
நான் பார்க்கிறேன் மகாராஜ்.
So what she is saying is, for the benefit of everyone, what is the name of the book you said?
திருக்கோளூர் பெண் பிள்ளை ரகசியம்.
Tirukkolur Pen Pillai Ragasyam is a text which will give much information about the perspective of Vedanta Deshikam, what Vedanta Deshikam wants to say through Paduka Sahasram. So it is better to go through this text called Tirukkolur Pen Pillai Ragasyam. So I requested her to get a copy of that book.
இன்னொரு செய்தி மகாராஜ்,
Hmm.
ஸ்ரீ ராமானுஜர் ஒரு சமயம் ஸ்ரீரங்கத்துல எழுந்தருளி இருந்த பொழுது அவர் வருகிறார் அப்படிங்கறதுனால எல்லாரும் பார்த்து இந்த பக்கம் போ அந்த பக்கம் போ அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு பெண்ணானவள் வருகின்ற பொழுது, அதாவது வேறு நிலையில் அந்த ஜாதி பார்க்கக்கூடிய ஒரு சூழல், இந்த தாழ்ந்த நிலை, இந்த பக்கம் போ அந்த பக்கம் போன்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஒதுக்குகின்ற பொழுது, அப்ப அந்த பெண்ணானவள் கேட்கின்றாள், எந்த பக்கம் போனாக்க உங்க சுவாமி அங்க இருக்க மாட்டார் சொல்லுங்க அப்படின்னு கேட்கக்கூடிய ஒரு செய்தி. அதற்கு பிறகுதான் இந்த பெண் பிள்ளை ரகசியம் நூல் எழுதப்பட்டது அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு கருத்தும் வந்திருக்கிறது. அது தொடர்பாக பார்க்கும்போது இந்த பாதுகா சகஸ்திரத்தோட தொடர்புடைய செய்தி, எந்த இடத்திலே பாதத்தூளி படுதல் அப்படிங்கிறதுல அகல்யா பத்தி நீங்க சொன்னேன். அகல்யா பத்தி பல கருத்துகள் காணப்படக்கூடியதாக இருக்கு. அதை போன்று துரியோதனன் அந்த நிலம், அந்த செய்தி, இதெல்லாமே ஆங்காங்கே நம்ம என்ன எப்படி எடுத்துக்கொள்ள வேண்டும்னா சரணாகதிக்குரிய போக்குக்கு வழிகாட்டுதல் அப்படிங்கறத எடுத்துக்கிறதுக்கு வசதியா இருக்கும்னு நான் நினைக்கிறேன். உங்களுடைய சஜஷன்?
So what she is telling is basically there is an incident where a person considered to be of a lower varna or caste, a woman that too, when she is entering, when Ramanujacharya was very much alive, when she is entering the temple, so people say that go this way, go that way, and that is because of the discrimination which was prevalent at that time. So then that woman asks, so please tell me where your Lord does not exist, I will go that side. So this is like then she says, as we had already seen, there are different accounts of Ahalya and there are different ways one can interpret that story. And similarly, that how Duryodhana says that I will not even give land which is just the tip of the needle. All these can be interpreted, though they can be interpreted in different ways. This woman's, when she asks, tell me the place where I have to go, where your Lord does not exist, that is the background of this Tirukkolur Pen Pillai Rahasyam. Afterwards it is written, and so we will get a lot of references. And Sharanagati or refuge to the holy feet or the holy Paduka of Lord Ranganatha is one way we can understand whatever is told. And that is, of course, that is what we are trying to understand. That is how we are also trying to understand that that Paduka which is protecting the feet and the holy feet of Lord Ranganatha, which did such inhuman or superhuman tasks, not inhuman, superhuman tasks, such inexplicable tasks, which it could not, we cannot even think, we cannot even fathom how it was done. And so the Paduka is very great. As I had already told in the beginning, we will be getting various references to various Tamil scriptures while we study the Paduka Sahasram, and we have just only covered the 39th verse, and there are 1,000 verses of this text. That is why it is called Sahasram, but we will be able to cover it, and then we will be able to enjoy the beauty of what Vedanta Deshikan has told.
Maharaj, one more thing. நீங்க மனிஷா பஞ்சகம் அது எழுதும்பொழுது ஒரு இது சொல்லியிருந்தேன். ஒருத்தர் வந்து பாட்டு கத்துக்கணும், அவருடைய சிஷ்யர் ஆகணும் அப்படிங்கிறதுக்காக அவர் வந்து படியாக அந்த படியில படுத்திருந்தார். நம்ம படியை தாண்டி மிதிச்சுன்னு தான் அவர் போவார். அப்ப அவர் பாத தூளி பட்டாலே எனக்கு வந்துடும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு இசை அறிஞரை பற்றி சொன்னேன். அதுவும் எனக்கு ஞாபகத்துக்கு வருது.
எனக்கு ஞாபகத்துக்கு வரவில்லையே.
எனக்கு சரியா ஞாபகத்துல இல்ல. அந்த இசை ஞானி நார்த் சைட்ல தான் அவர் வந்து அவர் சொல்லிட்டு போனா இந்த இடத்துல நான் படுத்திருந்தாலே எனக்கு வந்துரும், அவருக்காக காத்து கொண்டிருந்தார் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு வரக்கூடியது.
So
எனக்கு
what
தெரியல,
she's,
நான்
what she's
ஞாபகப்படுத்தி
telling is, yeah, please share one incident related to Holy Paduka Mahima of Sri Ramakrishna. Okay, so what she is telling now is that there is one story where a person wants to learn from a music maestro, guru, and then lies down on the steps which are frequented by that guru, so that even if steps falls on my body, I will be able to learn from him. So that who was that? I don't remember now. And so Sri Ramakrishna's feet, of course, Sri Ramakrishna says the one who was Rama, one who was Krishna is now Sri Ramakrishna. So Sri Ramakrishna's feet's glory, we have to understand that when Narendranath Datta went, he just kept his feet on his chest and could give him the experience of oneness. And so Narendranath Datta said, no, what are you doing? I have my parents at my home. And so Sri Ramakrishna said, okay, the time has not come yet. So if somebody can induce the experience of Advaitic experience, Advaitic oneness to a person just by touching through feet, then we can understand what great power rests in that feet. Okay, so that is for today, and we will meet again next week. Shubharatri.